Talking with Words.
Welcome back to Talking with Words. You're here with Rob.
James.
And Ryan.
And tonight we're going to watch 1998 John Carpenter's Vampires. Man, we're going to try this again. We tried this a while back and we were hindered.
We had a member with a medical issue.
They were bitten by Ryan, and he would not let go.
Whoops. Is that why he's never been back?
Man, you got a strong jaw, my friend.
That's what she said.
Bye. Now, if you have not seen this movie, shame on you, because this is James Woods at his finest.
We've got James Woods.
Ooh, piece of candy.
This movie is described as recovering from an ambush that killed his entire team. A vengeful vampire slayer must retrieve an ancient Catholic relic that, should it be acquired by vampires, will allow them to walk in sunlight. Jaywalker. This is also, as Ryan and I were talking about earlier, some of the best John Carpenter music.
Yes.
The dude loves to play his own stuff, if you're not aware. Again, if you're not aware of this and you're listening to this podcast, shame. Now, this stars James Woods, Daniel Baldwin, Cheryl Lee, who you might know from Twin Peaks if you are a David Lynch-ophile. Ophile? Yeah, we'll go with that. Mark Boone Jr. from
Sons of Anarchy.
There we go.
Bobby Elvis.
Karihiko Tagaya, which was in the original Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yeah.
Your soul is mine. Let's see. Who else is in this? There's more people. We're not going to spend time on that. Sally, would you like to do the Parents Guide? Yes, I would love to do the Parents Guide. Sex and nudity is moderate. Violence and gore, severe. That's a long slide there. Oh, profanity, severe. Because they say cunt twice. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking is moderate. Characters go to a motel and drink several bottles of beer. Frightening and intense scenes. Oh, the entire film is gory and frightening is what it says here. That was like a Georgia dandy. That wasn't even Sally. Sorry, Sally.
Pronunciation was too good.
Also, I'm not sorry. All right. Let's watch this 1998 masterpiece, which, for the record, when Will and I were dropped off in Mountain Home at my grandma's house, she lived across this huge gully from I'm using gully, from a Harps that rented movies. We rented this and Air Force One and watched it back to back to back to back. So then we had Get Off My Plane, You Bloodsucker. It was a weird summer. Anything else we need to add before we get into this?
You've seen this, right, James?
Maybe. I mean, it's a long time ago.
Oh, you'd remember.
Once I start seeing it, I will know.
Are you familiar with shit shows?
Yes.
This does have, well, I'll save it for the pod. Cameron? Oh.
Oh.
Cameron's missing his 1 year anniversary on our podcast. 1 year ago, he watched Russell Crowe
around.
walk down the steps in a tiny little thingy in Thor: Love and Thunder. Cameron, I know you're not going to listen to this. We miss you. All right, let's watch John Carpenter. Vampirism.
Wow. I've seen better operations for killing vampires. I mean, we've had a lot of vampire movies, right?
Oh, yeah.
Can we grade it on the spectrum of all vampire movies?
Well, you got to also grade it on the spectrum of humans killing vampires.
Well, but the technology. I mean, come on. It was
Sure,
what
sure.
was this? What
98.
year? 98. Okay. We maybe. I mean, it was really good the way they drug him out in the sunlight.
I love
fast and effective.
I love the winch.
But they showed up in like a Jeep full like tank truck thing that was doubled as their people carrier somehow. Which pet peeve. I don't think there was near enough room for that whole team to comfortably go anywhere in the southwestern desert.
There's some stank in there for sure.
For sure. They were not so fresh when they were coming out, and that's what you don't want when you're going after vampires. They will smell you before they see you. They didn't even worry about making noise when they broke in that house.
Melissa, do you smell that?
So they should have had all this gear. They were prepped. It was daylight. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were getting into. But I think we talked about it even during. It's like, why not just bring a rocket launcher and blow that whole wooden house to bits?
Yeah, I think when you get to the house points, you just burn them down.
Yeah, just burn the whole thing down. Let the sunlight come in and get everyone. I mean, there was a basement. They might have had to go flush them out of the basement after that.
That's what the flamethrower's for.
A little holy water.
A
in the
flamethrower
back of a
would have been
tanker
nice.
Truck, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
Flamethrower would be great. A lot better than a crossbow that just sort of drug them out, and because they could still hold on to stuff and not let themselves be dragged
clearly.
out.
The only piece of that I did not like, which I get it, James Woods is the hero, but everybody else strapped up with all kinds of armor and neck guards and knee pads and wrist guards and such.
He's got a leather jacket,
leather gloves, and mom jeans.
Yep.
With the 9-inch zipper.
Yep.
Compensating much?
It's a hallmark of mom jeans, the 9-inch zipper.
Well, it had to cover his big fat vagina. James Woods. I remember when I got this when I was 98, winning the 98, 99. Will and I used to watch this all the time, and I loved the winch. To me, that was such a great idea.
You wanted a Jeep. You were Jeep curious, weren't you?
I actually was Jeep curious. I tried to get a Wrangler when I turned 16, and I didn't fit in the motherfucker. So I got a truck.
Everyone that I've ever known that had a Jeep absolutely wanted that winch. And they were really hoping that they would get a chance to pull somebody out of something.
Yeah.
Usually you just use it to pull your stuff out of a tight situation.
Buzzing. Anyway, so this movie starts off pretty quick. You
With
got
some spectacular guitar riffs from
which you just
John
heard.
Carpenter. Yeah.
The opening theme, which is, of course, very familiar to Escape from New York, L.A., you know, all of his stuff.
Ghost of Mars.
We're getting there. November's on its way, baby. But yeah, I always liked the pulling them out and burning them just to be sure. They had the armor around the neck. James, you mentioned that.
That was smart.
Of course.
Got to give them that.
Not James Woods, but the other guys.
Other
had
James.
armor.
Although we saw that they can take blood from other places.
Clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Clitorally.
Femorally.
And I mean, we have this cool opening where they're doing the nest, and then they're like, we didn't find a master. Let's go get hookers and get drunk at the.
But we still got
the
9 of them.
Best foreshadowing ever, right there. Didn't think anything was going to happen next as this movie kicks off.
And this is one of those that, as you watch it, and there's a scene later on where Wood's character pulls out this map, and it's a spiral, and he's like, "I'm trying to get to the." It's like, well, you probably should have known that when you didn't find a master, when you're getting closer to the spiral, that something was weird. No, we're just gonna go get drunk and get hookers like normal. Nothing weird could happen.
Got to keep the team happy.
Yeah, and that went well.
And again, for an organized group of slayers, they didn't set a watch, no lookouts. Just go to the motel and pretend nothing happened.
At night?
at night.
And clearly you don't have to.
It was the Sun God Motel. They were
Sun
protected.
God. Yes, that must have been what it was.
I would have a safe room inside another room filled with grow lights.
Or at least a safe word.
Think about it. And the safe word, of course.
Oklahoma!
Flugen, Ketchen, Molten.
Yeah. That one gets kind of jumbled in your taint hole. I also liked, which Chris was it that was in Jurassic Park? Pratt. I like that Daniel Baldwin in this looks like he could have been that character's like drunk deadbeat dad. He had the denim and
drunk
the vest.
Emo uncle.
You go get the raptors if you want, but I'm going to hunt down these vampires. Oh, God. Also, we had Frank Darabont.
Yeah.
Nice little cameo. I never knew that until James looked it up. Baldwin steals Frank Darabont's car, probably because he wouldn't put him in any of his movies. That would make sense. If you don't know who Frank Darabont is, he did Shawshank, Green Mile, Mist, a shitload of amazing stuff. Walking Dead, first 2 seasons.
I'd love to hear more about how he got into the movie.
It has to be one of those
There's
random
gotta be a
things where
story.
Carpenter was like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow?
Probably.
I need an extra.
Just hear me out.
And the whole credit on IMDb was Man with Buick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not in any of his stuff. So it's got to be one of those, like he came to set and Carpenter was like, hey, you want to be in my movie? He's like, oh, I'm just kind of fucking around anyway. Why not?
Well, all he did was pump gas, and I think he had maybe like one line, hey, what are you doing?
Exactly. I'm taking your shit. Okay. Do we want to spend some time on the Valak coming to the hotel?
For sure.
We probably should. Yeah.
All the hookers, so many hookers. Such a big motel.
And there was like
Dead
no
hookers.
town. Where do those hookers come from? Did they ship them in?
Lot lizards.
There was a lot of lot lizards.
And the quality was way too high for that rural of a location.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
At least 2 of them.
Okay, yeah. I'm mentally reviewing the cast now, and I see what you're saying. I was focusing on the blonde, which had speaking parts later.
Yeah.
A bunch of soft fives, as somebody stated.
Yeah.
Very soft.
I don't know who said that. Sexist. And also,
Not your brand of hooker.
What was
Definitely not.
what was her name? The chick from Twin Peaks?
Katrina.
Katrina. She had a snake tattoo on her back.
Hooker number 1.
Hooker number 1, Katrina, which is a reference to Pliskin, I'm assuming.
Snake Plissken.
Since
Yeah.
it's John Carpenter.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I also read that I guess James Woods improvised constantly, and John Carpenter was okay with it.
Is that all the dick jokes?
I want to know which. It has to be because it makes no fucking sense.
It's about
I feel
half
like-
of his lines.
Yeah.
Given a chance, he was trying to make Wood happen. James Woods, he wants to make Wood jokes.
I mean,
dick jokes.
He made several.
They
They weren't all good ones,
I
but
wonder if you just meet him like on the street. He's like, "What's going on? Does meeting me give you wood?" Like, all right, bud. Stop trying to make it work.
600 years old. How's the dick work?
be honest. Did you get a little wood there?
A little mahogany,
Il teak.
ebony. Yeah, it was a lot. It was more than I remembered.
Different kinds of woods.
But we had, like we talked about with Bobby from Sons, and you had Mortal Kombat Boy in there, and they lasted about 10 minutes in the movie. And then you had a sweet sequence of James Woods cutting all their heads off, throwing them into a bedsheet, and burning the hotel down.
As one does for good friends.
19 bodies.
When in Texas.
Sounds like a nice Tuesday.
And the rules that they kept throwing out were random, and no one gave a shit about any of them.
Well, I only heard Rule 1 and Rule 10. Did you hear others?
Well, they had if you're you don't bury a team. If somebody gets bit,
You don't bury a team alone, or you don't bury. Yeah,
You don't. Rule 10: don't fight a master at night.
right?
Can't beat a master at night.
Not to be confused with the priest's speech of he'll be unstoppable unless we stop him. God damn that line.
Rule number 1: if your partner gets bit, you never let him live.
Never let him live.
And these rules were very specific and in the moment.
Yeah. And then they're all like, well, but it's just more of a guideline than a rule, really, I guess, because they broke every single one that they said out loud.
It's not like Zombieland rules, which were pretty tight.
Yeah. Rule number 32: enjoy the little things.
Tight, tight, tight. Yeah, they really only broke one rule in Zombieland, and it was at the very end. I don't remember which one it
I've already
was,
forgotten.
but I remember the end.
I don't think that one was rules. That was just Woody Harrelson's character going, nope, no names. I don't want to get too personal. And that's when everybody started Tallahassee, Columbus. I don't think that was an actual rule, though.
There was one at the end where it was like, the
Oh,
rule
be a
comes back
hero.
up. Yeah, don't be a hero, and then it says, "Bink, be a hero." That's the one.
Yeah.
Good memory. So we have the master come and kill the entire team, and he goes. Wood's character goes back to his boss, I guess.
I don't know where he went during all this. I mean, it's a motel, for crying out loud. Where was he at that he didn't immediately see what was happening?
Yeah, they kept going around, but they were always in the same place. It seemed like.
Like he was in the
Well, I mean, it's Southern California. It all looks the same.
he was in the private access room of the motel suite.
It's the presidential
several,
suite
several rooms away from the entrance.
Yeah.
where he dove and stabbed himself with his own crossbow.
Yeah, I did. I did always like that one because that seems like something I could do.
And you see it coming too. He dives. He dives straight into it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to work out.
He just leaves it loaded all the time too.
Well,
Cock, lock, ready to rock.
That part I understand.
Yeah.
All of my guns are loaded constantly. There's one under your seat. Don't touch it.
I have to keep spinning at less than 25 miles per hour.
3 spins per minute.
Just
sit down slowly when you sit down on it.
Jesus. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
But I like when they go to what I say was the Cardinals office or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And
well, he's not normally there because
he came from overseas.
Yeah, the new Padre. He's like, oh yeah, we came over because we found somebody who knows the location of the cross. I mean, it divulges that a little bit later on, but they're not normally there, and they're at just some little rinky-dink Catholic church out in BFE somewhere.
Yeah. But in that, this is the first time I saw it. The fucking Black Cross, or a
depiction of a black cross.
Yeah, a statue with it.
Black Jesus.
Black Jesus. Is in there in that scene like 3 times.
Yeah.
So when you watch it again, you're like, oh yeah, of course, this guy's probably gonna betray you, and he's German.
Yeah. Here's a wooden painting of Vlad, and it has some writing on it. We don't know what it means.
Don't pay any attention to my massive erection.
So many things like the invention of smartphones made all information more accessible. A little Google Translate would have instantly told them what it said.
Yeah, they were definitely fighting vampires at the wrong time. That's why we don't have any vampires anymore, because we have smartphones.
He didn't have time for AOL to load. So I didn't look it up.
He had to point things out on a map. They had a map.
What's a map?
Exactly.
You said Windows would be faster and smarter than ever.
It is faster, almost 5 times.
South Park joke for you, folks. Yeah, so they get the new Padre. Also, they make a reference to Father Callahan overseas, his whole team getting wiped out, which this is also the first time I caught that one since you just read James.
Bulls of Calla. I just finished it.
Father Callahan was the priest in Salem's Lot, if you're a Stephen King fan. And that was probably just a reference because there were a bunch of random references throughout. It seemed like
in this movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just in life. The hotel sequence with Baldwin and the hooker was really weird.
And
The
sexy.
naked hotel sequence.
Yeah, which I know John Carpenter's weird about nudity and like those up close sequences, or at least he was when he filmed his early stuff.
Where James is certain there was bush.
No, I was certain there was bush.
Oh.
He sensed it.
I could sniff it out.
All I'm saying is very,
Who wants to sniff this bush?
very imbalanced. I mean, she's like tied up naked on a bed, and they can't even get the Baldwin to take his shirt off. Come on.
Would you want that with that Baldwin?
Well, it is
I don't
Daniel.
know. I mean, he was low budget Baldwin, but I don't know what I don't know what he looks like without a shirt.
He might be the most hung Baldwin. We don't know.
See, there you go.
Yeah, I see your point.
You can't.
You could have seen his point.
You can't have no in your heart.
But you can have it on your chest.
Indeed.
Also, the Black Cross. Why did they go with the Black Cross? Yeah, we'll skip that part.
Because it's Satan's cross.
But was it?
No.
But I mean, I really didn't.
Well, no, but
I really didn't understand their explanation about how the Catholic Church created the vampires. They did a reverse exorcism.
yeah, I don't know how that works. Do you put the spirit of a demon into the body?
That's what they seem to be saying, and the spirit lived and the body died.
Yeah.
So, and finishing that would make him able to walk in the day,
The body,
which made no
alive?
sense at all. I mean, if you finish make it, wouldn't they both be dead? I don't know. How's the world of opposites here didn't really work.
I also loved with that process the Cardinal. Hey, spoilers! The Cardinal betrays everyone, and he comes out and he's like, "Oh, you're surprised to see me, Jack. When you get old and you start questioning if there's life after," I was like, "Dude, you know there's fucking people that are dead and they're living and they die and all this shit. You should be pretty sure that the whole religion thing's pretty much on the
I
spot."
think the implication is he's done some other shit that he's worried about, so he can't die.
He definitely killed some kids at some point.
He's done something.
He does not.
Every
want
one
to
of
go.
those concerns is the 13-year-old schoolboy.
But honestly,
Him
from
licking his lips for some reason.
I suspected him from the minute I saw him smile in the first scene with the bishop, because he had a shit-eating grin on his face the whole time.
Yeah, you can't hide that shit-eating grin. Clancy Brown will prove that every time around.
His intelligence level when it came to that thought process there was on par with the paramedics of Night of the Living Dead. Well, they're cold, and he doesn't have a heartbeat.
Can I talk to you over here for a minute? What the fuck? I mean, we're already to the jail. Did we miss other stuff that we need to discuss?
Yeah, well, I mean, we skipped the whole jail part before that.
No, I mean we're to the jail where they get to the town.
So in the
I did like
hotel,
that sequence.
We did miss. So hooker number one, Katrina, when she got bit originally at the Sun God Motel, there is apparently some sort of telepathic visions.
Yes.
Where you can see what Valak sees because he's the original, the special one.
Well, like you're connected to your maker,
Yeah.
kind of thing, and
But
she
him
was
being
connected to her maker
oh yeah.
via clitori.
But during the whole hotel scene when she finally convinces the third Baldwin to go let her change,
Yeah.
she ends up biting him
Yes.
on the arm, and he's, he plays the whole thing up to James Woods. He's like, "Oh no, she freaked out and tried to jump, and I fell through the window." And
I also like that he always burned his bite wounds.
I thought that was interesting.
Is that going to help?
I feel like I saw it in another vampire film at some point.
I mean, I've definitely seen zombie movies where you get bit and you take off the limb and you can survive.
Oh yeah, World War Z.
There you go.
That's science. That should have worked.
I mean, all right.
I would assume if you do it quick enough, it's like cauterizing it and killing everything that's there. So if you do it essentially immediately, but I don't know that he was really that immediate with any of it.
Wendy punched her and then went into the bathroom with a lighter. I don't know if that's going to do it.
Yeah.
We're not talking lightsaber here. And then he uses
So he's trying to cauterize the wound, not take the arm off.
Yeah, I don't think a
that
sooty
was a whoopsie-daisy on his part.
cigarette lighter would work.
Yeah, I don't think that one's going to do it.
Yeah.
He had a good yell on him, though. And he always looked like he was coming down from a really bad hangover, which he probably was.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're going to explain. I mean, the Catholic Church definitely losing a lot of money on this team because now they've trashed the hotel room. They broke the window. It smells like burnt hair and skin.
And they've
blood everywhere.
And they've paid off the local sheriff. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if they wrote a check, once the place burned down, nobody's going to cash it. So
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
for the price on the house.
Well, I mean, the Vatican's the richest country in the world, so
You also don't have
they
to pay
can get-
dead
they can afford
hookers.
it.
Well,
That's
That's
I've always
why
said.
negotiating price is a waste of time. It's more for entertainment than anything else.
It's one thing my grandpa taught me.
I do want to give a shout out to Katrina, the actress. Did a good job of that shuddering thing she did was very
Oh, yeah.
consistent without
Faking it.
being very like it looked like she was just doing the same motion every time. She definitely shivered really well, and I think she was probably sore the week after that.
It was a lack of heroin in her system.
Need
I
some
believe.
Absorbine Junior.
Oh, the WDs, the DTs.
Yep, the DTs. She had them. She had them bad. Which I've kind of got the DTs right now because I haven't eaten any more of this big weenie meal we got here.
Mm,
Uh,
delicious.
we got. Well, I'm not gonna say too much food because I'm gonna eat all of it.
Yeah, it'll all get consumed.
Jeff from Big Weenies on the Bentonville Square treated us with a slew of options between burgers, dogs, fries, and the lot. God damn, it's delicious.
I inhaled that Chicago dog.
Go give Jeff some love. Tell him Talking with the Word sent you. Maybe he'll give you a soda. I don't know.
It's delicious.
He's nice.
If you haven't had it, you're missing out.
Speaking of weenies, I did like the little priest guy when James Woods says, "All right, I need you to tell me what's going to go on, or else I'm going to cut you." No, you're a righteous man, Jack. You won't hurt me. Open your fucking mouth, Padre.
You don't know James Woods. James Woods doesn't even know James Woods.
You don't know James Woods like James Woods doesn't know James Woods.
I'm sure it went better that time than it did every time the cardinal told him to open his mouth as a small child.
That's why he didn't want to die. Sweet sodomy.
Raised to be a slayer by the church.
Was Uncle Stephen Catholic?
You know what? He was actually
Makes so much sense now.
reformed.
Was he though?
You can ask him. He'll be here in a few minutes. It's his Tuesday. First Tuesday of every month. So also we're talking about early on what do they call them? The nests, the
Nests. Yeah.
nests. So the last one is in that jail. I always really enjoyed that sequence where they do the elevator.
Yeah, the condemned jail, but the elevator and camera system still works.
Everything works in it.
Yeah.
He even had a camera system.
Which-
A camera system with clearer pictures than we see now
Yeah.
from security footage shown on the news.
They must have been prepared.
So, we didn't get a great shot of the jail from outside, but I don't recall that jail being more than one story.
No, it looked like the Alamo. Little tiny thing.
Yeah.
Just had some big gates. Looked kind of like the front of where Ash went up in Army of Darkness. And then they killed a bunch of vampires.
And don't forget, Padre played soccer.
Just like Brad.
He didn't know how to drive. He'd never seen or killed a vampire before, but he did play soccer.
He was pretty worthless, really, until he did something.
Well, if faking an injury
That's how it works.
was strategic, that was a skill he could have used.
Well,
they did use him as bait.
That's a soccer
He
skill.
got that from soccer for sure. He just rolled his knee.
And he did get in some good kicks there on top of the elevator, in the shaft of the elevator.
That's something they teach you in Catholic preschool. How
Work
to
the
treat the
shaft.
And hell we come. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard it when I said it. Yep.
Sorry.
A half vampire Stephen Baldwin or Daniel Baldwin comes to the rescue. Driving a Jeep, no hands, no foot on the gas pedal.
I like how after he was bitten again and they like tried to make him look worse, he still looked the same. Like
Just slightly more emo.
This film must have been like him going to a clean out,
Rehab?
like a rehab. Yeah. Because he just looked like the entire time he was waking up sweating. There were probably babies crawling on the ceiling when he woke up in the middle of the night and shit like that.
Well, it's the exact opposite of the master vampires, who were apparently digging themselves into the dirt every night.
Oh, yes.
Then they would get out of the dirt looking very, well, dirty. And by definition, strict definition, dirty. And within a half hour of sunset, they're clean just from walking down the road.
Yeah, they were looking good.
Just shake it off.
They keep a brisk pace.
Okay. Yeah.
Clearly.
Well, I mean, he did fly down a car going 60 on the road.
Yeah, which at that one point he was flying or like jumping or running or whatever, and then the rest of the movie he's in hand-to-hand combat with James Woods, and they're not having those issues. Like the one that broke the tether on the Jeep. Like, you guys were just in hand-to-hand combat with a human, and you can break a steel winch.
Well, that first vampire that cornered the young father, the take was James Woods from the other side saying, "Kill him, Padre, kill him," and from the camera angle we had, we just see the vampire over him, just like waving claws in front of his face. It's
Just
like
swiping.
Go in for the kill. Where's your killer instinct, vampire? Go in for the kill.
This is my first time.
Yeah, the hand-to-hand combat between Valak and James Woods, considering Valak went through and was like shoving his fist through people and Judy chopping people to death.
I loved that choice though, because they didn't need weapons. The vampires didn't carry weapons. They didn't no armor, nothing. They just blunt force trauma, and being able to stick your hand like straight through somebody's body. They showed the strength they had.
Well, he split the one dude in half. That was like the first kill. He
just do that every time.
Old Bobby Elvis, R.I.P.
Yeah, Elvis got, and then that one priest, he just did a little judo chop with his nails and took his head off.
Yeah, if we're like paper mache dolls to him, why did anybody stand a chance?
Why is he throwing James Woods around?
Slayer.
Well, you got to play with your wood, I guess.
Yeah.
I see it now.
I will say, aside from some of the James Wood jokes, the best line is when hooker number one, Katrina, comes to, and they're like, "Oh, you remember being bitten now by a vampire?" She's like, what? And you go, "Yeah, big guy, pointy teeth, kind of shady looking."
Shady.
Well played. That was Daniel's best line of the film there.
Yeah, I like that one. I also like James's point when Valak runs away, James Woods grabs the cross and runs after him. Like, why are you bringing the cross back to him?
The cross had
the thing he's been looking for centuries.
And apparently, again, the cross makes no sense. If they had it and they used it to create vampires, why didn't they destroy it right then?
Yeah, throw it in the fucking ocean.
Maybe we don't need that cross because we're not going to do that again.
This might be something we don't need to keep around.
This the decoration of that cross. It looked like somebody put it together from Hobby Lobby. you could buy those gems down there on aisle 3 or whatever.
Pretty sure one of my grandmas has one of those on their mantle during Christmas.
And it was half spear, half cross. Like, at one point James Woods is trying to use it like a weapon. Like maybe it could have been a weapon, but it wasn't. It was the thing that they wanted, and it was standing in the sunlight where he couldn't touch it, and he takes it into the dark to hey, look what I got.
Yeah, he went to get it.
Just trying to make it more dramatic. I'm going to kill you with the thing you need the most.
Also, that dude wore a velour trench coat.
And velour prince suit.
Resist dirt.
I want to be a vampire. Just wear velour all day. I guess I could be a gangster. Feels good.
Yeah, see.
Well, that's that movie.
Yep. Made it through the second time.
We're going to head off to Mexico for a vacation.
You got 2 days.
2 days in Mexico. Sounds pretty nice.
So did you ever figure out if you had seen this before?
I did. I had not
Okay.
seen it. I think I'd seen maybe like 5 minutes of it here and there, but I'd never watched the whole movie.
I like watching it
As
as
soon
an
as
adult.
the body splitting and hookers came out, you were like, this isn't for me.
Yeah, I've avoided horror for most of my life. It's it's fortuitous. Now I get to catch up.
I'm glad we can help you out with that. You did that at least twice during this movie.
Well, the worst one was when he slit the father's hand with his knife.
Yeah,
Which
is weird because they didn't even show it.
Paper cut.
Yeah, but we can all relate
Yeah.
to a paper cut though, and that's kind of what James Wood did. Why don't you just put a paper cut between your toes or something?
Here, hold on to this postcard.
Ow! It's not Jackass.
Well, I did the same
Oh,
thing
man.
in Everything Everywhere.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
The paper
you did.
cut.
Looking,
But then it redeems itself with hot dog fingers.
which I mean, you can't lose with the hot dog fingers.
Chicago hot dog fingers.
Big weenies, delicious.
Who's hungry?
Yeah, looking back on this from when I was a kid watching it, and I was like, yeah, this is fucking awesome. Yeah. We've done some building on movies over the last 20-something years.
Special effects have stepped it up a notch.
Daywalkers became a thing.
Well, and I mean, just how simplistic this is with everything, once you put it all together. It's, hey, we're going to show the hunters trying to hunt these vampires. Then we're going to show the vampires killing a bunch of people. Hunters trying to hunt the vampires. Vampires killing a bunch of people. The last sequence. I mean, it was only, an hour and 40 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
I say only. We spent a whole fucking day and only made 5 minutes worth of a movie.
Well, there's very little
It's only half a
downtime.
day.
It takes a while.
Every scene sort of hit to the point.
Yeah. And I mean, I still like it. I'll still watch it again.
Yeah, it's not going to stop me from rewatching this.
Meryl was going to want to see this one.
Yeah.
Clearly. She has to know about Valak.
She's got to understand what the time expectation is on decapitating and burying 19 bodies.
And she needs to know why I bought her that Jeep when she turned 16.
Yeah.
The winch.
Get the oversized winch. Don't get the entry level.
No, we're going to get the big boy and then get the ones with the gas tanks on the sides,
Just in case.
just in case. James, anything else to add to this delightful film?
Nope.
Cool.
Put a stake in it.
There
I am
you
done.
go. Nice. Ryan?
I mean, I love this film. I've seen it probably 20 or 30 times.
Yeah.
And it's, like you said, it's not, the special effects don't necessarily hold up, but we've come a long way in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
But
It's like any of the older movies that had low budgets and, it's just different enough.
it has a sweet soundtrack.
Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. This is one of those where if I come across it on a streaming service or TV or whatever, I'm like, oh, vampires. And then I'll put the remote down and won't change it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Good way to look at it.
Yeah. No, it's if you've never seen it, it's definitely worth a watch. But yeah, it's good stuff.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched it 100 times. I'll watch it again. It's goofy as shit. half the dialogue makes no sense.
Well, that's because James Woods made half of it up.
Yeah, he just riffed the whole time. Apparently, Dolph Lundgren, I think, was supposed to be Jack at one point originally.
Really?
I believe so. I'd have to look that back up, but I think I remember reading that he was going to be Jack originally, which makes a little bit of sense. You know, being a commanding presence. James Woods, yeah, it's just James Woods.
Dolph Lundgren wouldn't wear the mom jeans, so it didn't work out.
Yeah, he wouldn't put on the whitewashed denims.
You're wearing mom jeans. I'm wearing the required uniform. Mom jeans.
I'm a vampire slayer.
I'll wear what I want.
They'll never get through this zipper.
Kevin Bacon showed me how to wear these back in the 90s. All right, well, that's plenty.
Yeah.
John Carpenter is still awesome. This doesn't take away of any of his stuff for me. And the music is always delightful. He knows how to play a little bit of everything. And I mean a little bit. I have his records, though. All right. Well, that was Vampires by John Carpenter, 1998. Go to Big Weenies on Bentonville Square. Get some food. James is shoving a hot dog in his mouth right now. See how he didn't gag? And
Lots of practice.
go to robgilchristbooks.com. As usual, Charlie.
Are we recording?